Hello and welcome to Best in Show for E3 2019. I'm going to be talking about the games that I thought had the best showing, that I am personally most excited about, though some of the games that I'm most excited about are not on this list. I don't think they had a very good showing. But we're going to talk about Remnant from the Ashes first. I think this game had an amazing showing. I think it looks really cool. I think the way they described it is really interesting, showing off gameplay and story, showing off some of the enemies, having the developer talk about it for a minute. I think this game looks really interesting. Very excited to see more of it. And yeah, I think they did a really good job showing it off, getting people hyped for it, and explaining it. I think Remnant for the Ashes, the way that it works, having the game be procedurally generated, but they have made sure to link everything together, having gear be based on quests or bosses, so you and your friends will have different gear depending on which bosses you fought, and you will get different bosses from your friends because you are playing a different game than they are, basically. That you can join your friends to be able to get some of their gear. I think the movement looks really cool. I think the gameplay looks really cool. They gave us a release date, gave us a website we can go check out. I just think it's a really cool trailer, and I'm very excited. The only real negative that I have for the way this trailer's done is that we don't get to see a lot of those crazy weapons, but at the same time, that's kind of cool because then it's a surprise. The soundtrack is okay. It didn't blow me away or anything, but I'm excited to see if the soundtrack for the full game is any better. Regardless, I think Remnant from the Ashes was one of the best games showed off showing wise at E3, and I think they did a very good job getting you excited for it. Following that, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, obviously, Remake had a really good trailer. You've all talked about it. I'm sure you've seen it many times. I'm sure by this point. Final Fantasy VII Remake had a great trailer. It also had a great gameplay where they spent some actual time letting you see a boss fight. You get to see Cloud and Barrett fight that boss. There's a lot of detail in the trailer. You get to see Tifa. You get to hear the music sounds updated and looks really cool. The world itself looks great. The graphics are phenomenal. They did a really good job with it. They just spent some time just talking about the game, showing off how the gameplay works. This is one of, I would say, the perfect ways to hype people up for a game is to show it, talk about it, show gameplay, spend some time with it, and then show a full trailer like this. I think it looks really good. The active time battle stuff looks really crazy and awesome. The way materia works, the way items work, they really went the extra mile to make sure that you knew what you were getting into with this game. And I really appreciate that. I think it looks really great. And I can't wait to play it. I think best in show, when we look at the phrase best in show, things like this trailer and the time they spent talking about this game have to be represented. There's no way it couldn't because they did such a good job with all of this. Following FF7 Remake, we get into Dragon Quest Builders 2. This is not just my bias talking because I think this trailer shows exactly what it needs to show. I think they spent the time with the announcer and with the visuals to be able to hype you up, but then they spent the time to actually show you what the game is, to show you the differences from the previous game, to show you the things you'll be doing. They introduced some characters, they introduced the villain, and I really like the way the announcers fired up the whole time, making sure that you stay hyped up. Even people that aren't fans of this game would have been able to get excited from the way the announcer talks about it. The trailer also isn't afraid to shy away from some of the darker aspects, showing off, NPCs dying, showing off the cars and going around. You have this amnesiac guy with you. I think they did a really good job of showing what the game is. And then you have the addition of the NPCs helping you, and they did that not just in the trailer itself with the whole aspect of showing the NPCs running around in the world too, but also in the gameplay where you get to see them doing it because they made sure that you got to see it at every turn. I think the underwater stuff is super cool, and I'm really excited for that. They showed hidden chest, which is a good way to excite me for underwater exploration. I just think this was a really good trailer showing off what this game is going to be. They even spent the time to stop and talk about harvesting, about how you're going to grow a garden and having the narrator get excited about plants. It's this game looks really good, and they even showed off the online, so you already have the online as a feature as well. I'm very excited for what else there will be to see in Dragon Quest Builders 2, and I think this definitely qualifies for Best in Show. Following DQB2, we had Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers trailer. So we had already seen early versions of this trailer, and you may say, but Trey, you're just biased. I love Shadowbringers. That's why Square Enix is on this list 3 times. I do love Shadowbringers, and I do love 14. But what excites me about this trailer is we find out more information we didn't have before. It's all rendered in-engine, none of it's CG. So this is what the stuff will actually look like in-game. There is lore bombs aplenty throughout the course of this trailer. Stuff that is crazy. The music is really good. You get to see the Sin Eaters. You find out more stuff about the Sin Eaters. It sets the stage and gets you excited for the expansion when you don't even really know what you should be getting excited for. I think it's very good, and I cannot wait to see more. It's maybe the perfect trailer for an MMO expansion because, again, you're seeing a bunch of cool things. You're even seeing fights, but it's all rendered in-engine, so it's what it's going to look like. It's very, very good at doing exactly what it needs to do, which is to hype you up for Shadowbringers, and I think it definitely deserves Best in Show. Following that, we have Brave Earth Prologue. If you haven't heard about this game, it looks sick. And what I love about this trailer, and what they tried to do in this trailer, and what I think they succeeded on in this trailer, is that they give you an old school Castlevania style game and then subvert your expectations in a really cool way. I normally hate it when my expectations get subverted, but the way they did it here is that it still looks like it plays like that old Castlevania style game, but with tweaks. Your characters can do crazy things they normally, like in those old games, they couldn't do, because we have different technology now. You have the art style looks great. You have 3 different characters to choose from. It just looks really solid, and I think the trailer did a really good job of showing you why you should care about it, of making sure that you know what was going on, seeing the 3 different characters, and look at the personality that these characters have as they are going through these levels, because I think they just did a really good job of selling you on these 3 characters. How beautiful the game is. They told you basically just enough to know that you're going to be doing Castlevania style, moving through the levels. Like that spin, man, is so good. Trying to stop this evil cult from the looks of things. But I think they did a really good job of just selling you on what this game is. It's all gameplay, really. Like, it's all in-engine. There is no CG here to be seen at all. And there's so much personality in every movement of these characters. I just think it looks really good. We'll wait for the last character here to come on screen before we move to the next game. Because Trevor looks really cool, too, with his various movement abilities. That upside-down moment where he flips up and then can slash. Like, what is that? I think they did a really good job of showing this game, and I'm very excited to see more about it. After that, we had Superliminal. Superliminal, some people would say, well, it's just an indie game, right? But in seconds, this game has shown you its premise and show you how to capitalize on it. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be just a puzzler, just trying to make you, get a hold of what it is. But they really spent that little bit of extra time to show you what you can do in this game, to show you that there is a story, that things are crazy, and that you will have to take care of things the way that they need to be handled using your own logic. You will have to figure it out, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's really cool. I think among the various different games of this type that were shown off this year, this is probably the best one in the way that they showed it, because they communicated everything to you so easily and so wonderfully in a matter of seconds, it feels like. So I'm very excited for Superliminal, and I cannot wait to see more. After Superliminal, we had 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Again, it's all in-engine, so there is no CG. You'll see that a lot on my list of Best of Show. But it's all in-engine, and you get to see maybe a little too much in some places. I feel like I would rather have not seen some of it, but it looks tremendous. It looks so cool. I think that everything about the style they're going for, the idea they're going for, being stuck in a time loop and telling that story from above so that you were seeing the same environments in the same time, every time in the exact same way. It's really cool. You have the three doors, which allow you to open the world up more and to see more of the world in the actual game. I just think they did a really good job selling you on what this is, and I cannot wait to see more. I think best of show, when we talk about the best showings at E3, the way the games are communicated to the players, I think 12 minutes is one of the best. I think they did a really good job with it, and I can't wait. Following 12 minutes was the PSO2 world version, converted over here to America, localized, that's the phrase. I got there. The localized version coming to the US and other parts of the world through the Xbox One. Yeah. It has a mix of CG and in-engine stuff, which is really cool. I think that the hype factor is definitely there because nobody expected this to happen, really. We all wanted it to happen, but nobody expected it. It tells you exactly what it is and exactly what it needs to be. It is Phantasy Star Online 2 coming to the West for the first time with crossplay. You know, it's insane how good it looks and the fact that they are just like, yeah, it's coming. I do wish we got to see a little bit more gameplay. I think there's only one flash of it, really. Most of it's CG. But I think it looks really good. They sold the idea of what the game is very well. I think to people that didn't know, it is a bunch of fights. It is an MMO. You can play as crazy characters. There's a lot of content, and it's all free to play. And I think that's really cool. You know, just taking that time to be like, hey, yeah, this is the game. So very excited for that. Definitely one of the best to show, in my opinion. Was a huge what moment when it got announced. So very, very nice. From there, we go to Carrion, which was a Devolver game. And Carrion, I think it communicates its premise to you almost immediately. I think putting this trailer together, they did a really good job. And what it does is it tells you, hey, you're the monster. You're hunting people down. You're going to kill them. You're going to eat them. It is a reverse horror experience. And again, for me, for Best in Show, it needs to communicate what it is to the audience, to the player. And it needs to tell them what they're going to be doing. And I think Carrion does that very well. It's all in engine. It's all gameplay, minus the slides showing a little bit of information. But I think it does a very good job of going, hey, yeah, this is what you do. This is it. This is the game. And sometimes I think that's all you need. Sometimes I don't think you need the flash and the panache like you had with like PSO2. Sometimes I think all you need is just to go, hey, this is the game. And it looks great. From there, we have Ghostwire Tokyo. Again, I don't know if this is CG or an in-engine. I would assume it's CG. But it looks amazing. The premise is really cool. I think that the idea of the game, that it's horror going on in the streets of Tokyo, is really great. And I cannot wait to see more, man. The premise being a psychological horror where you're going to have to fight back against these terrible creatures, I feel like is communicated to you really well. As the main character takes a bow and fires an arrow at this giant snake dragon thing that is trying to eat this woman. I think it sells the idea of things are really bad and nobody can quite explain what's happening and you're going to have to fight back against it. And that may not be what the game is at all. Maybe we find out the game has nothing to do with all that. But that's what the trailer kind of communicates. And I think that it does a good job in doing so. I think it tells you exactly what it is for the most part. And I like it a lot. Very much looking forward to more. 100% Best in Show. Some amazing shots in this trailer, man. Look, the guys moving forward with the umbrellas, and then you have your hero here getting his bow. It's just, and look at these guys. And my favorite shot is right there as the torii gates expand and the flowers come up to the forefront and then wither and die. This game is going to be tough. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. And I think it does a really good job of explaining that to the viewers. And then you have that amazing cut right there, man. It's such a good trailer. Definitely one of the best in show for me. There's the shot right there. Following that, though, we have Midnight Ghost Hunt. Not a very long trailer, but it tells us what it needs to tell us. tells us what the game is, tells us what it's about, and it gets us excited for it. It tells us the game is prop hunt, but the props can fight back. It tells us what happens at the witching hour, where everything turns terrible at midnight. I think it does a really good job of communicating the game, and then having the dev come out afterwards and talk more about it, about what it is, about how it works. I think it works really well. I'm very excited for this game, and I think the trailer does a really good job of showing you what can happen, and that hey, you got to be prepared. I think it's that moment where the chair hits the guy in the back of the head that makes you go, "Oh, this is not just prop hunt." Okay, so I think the trailer did a very good job of communicating what it was trying to show, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. I cannot wait to play this. Really cool, but again, all in engine, no CG, exactly what we want. So, very, very nice. Following Midnight Ghost Hunt was the Dragon Quest character for Smash. We'll skip ahead a little bit here. I cannot believe we got a Dragon Quest character for Smash. This trailer is just another Smash showing trailer. I know a lot of people don't like these because they kind of just spend a little bit of time. But I think it's the extra time they spend to make sure that they get the essence of the character that really works for me. It's the moments where they have him finding a medal or sitting in a campfire. It's the moments where the other heroes show up behind him from the other games and you figure out that they are alternate costumes for him. They did a really good job of selling you on the fact that this is the Luminary, and his Final Smash looks cool. I think as a character, he looks really fun to play. They included his menu systems, to be able to choose different spells to use his MP on. I just think they did a really good job with this trailer. I think the intros may be a little too long, but all told, I think it's very nice. I think they did a really good job with it, and I cannot wait to play as Erdrick. Following Erdrick, we have Banjo. And I do like this trailer a lot. The only complaint that I have is that they do the same trick they did before in the same spot they did it before. But when you see the Jiggy at the start of it right there, you're like, okay, yeah, I know what's going to happen. But what I love about this is you have King K. Rool in the reactions as well. And you have that moment where Donkey Kong recognizes that it's Banjo and just gets hype. And Donkey Kong is the audience at that point getting hype, because he just looks so good. But I think they did a pretty good job with it. Instead of having King K. Rool bouncing around, or DDD bouncing around and jumping, they have Duck Hunt Dog coming up like he does in Duck Hunt, which is really nice. But, Banjo looks great. I think they did a really good job with him as well, showing off his moveset, showing off what he can do, getting you excited for Banjo as a character. And it's just right there, man. Look at how excited DK is. I think that when we talk about Best in Show, again, we talk about trailers that show what the character can do, what the show can do, what the game can do, and just really show that off and spend the time with it. And that's what these do. These don't waste a lot of time. Only the Erdrick one really wasted that much time. But they go straight into it, basically, and it's like, hey, this is the moveset. This is what they can do. This is what you can expect. Here's some fun little moments. Here's the stage. And I just think that's really nice that, they're to the point. They show what you want to see, and they get you going. And again, the gameplay is there. You get to see the gameplay for yourself. There's no confusion as to how it's going to play. So I think that's the best way you could do a trailer for characters like this. And when it comes to Best in Show, I think that's one of the best ways you can do a trailer. And then finally, we have the one that goes against everything I've been talking about this entire video, because we have the Breath of the Wild sequel. So this is all CG. There's no gameplay. The reason why I think it works anyway is because it really sells you on the idea of what it's trying to do. It's, hey, Breath of the Wild finished. We're done with Breath of the Wild now, but we're not done in that world. And we still have to solve these problems. We still have, Zelda has short hair now, by the way, which looks great. We still have this issue to solve in the form of, we stopped Calamity Ganon, but his body's still out there and unresolved. We haven't done anything about that. And so we should fix that. And it doesn't tell you much about what's going to happen in the game, but you get to see a little bit of, hey, Ganon is waking up. Hey, Hyrule Castle is moving. Things are changing. get ready to go back into this world again. And again, even though it doesn't show any gameplay, it looks like it's rendered in engine. I don't know that for sure, but it looks like it. And it really seems to be just Breath of the Wild 2. Let's go, you know? And it tells you that's what it is. It shows you that's what it is by still being in that world, by that world not being drastically changed in any great way, and being just a direct sequel. Very, very nice. Looks great. Looks really cool. Cannot wait to play it. Cannot wait to see more about it. But that is my best in show. We'll roll back through the games again while we let this last trailer play again. Best in show for me for E3 2019. The best showings for games were Remnant from the Ashes, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Shadowbringers launch trailer, Brave Earth Prologue, Superliminal, 12 minutes, Phantasy Star Online 2, Carrion, Ghostwire Tokyo, Midnight Ghost Hunt, Smash Ultimate DLC, and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I think that these games did the best job, these trailers did the best job of showing you what those games were, what you were going to be doing in them, and getting you hyped up for them. With all that said, though, let me know what your best of E3 trailers were in the comment section down below. I have been Trey, this has been The Full Spectrum, and remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that E3 has to offer.